Sometimes an inherent laziness leads to something that might be kind of cool. That's kind of odd to say, isn't it? But so my desire to get this all done versus my not feeling like ripping a skinny board in here, I think it's led me to a neat idea. I have a couple of 4x6s over there. And I think it would be kind of nice to have a little ledge here. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, we're going to be putting sheet metal on the wall here because our grinding, this is going to be, this wall here, I'm kind of planning on being my finishing wall for the tools. So our grinders and everything are going to be up against here. And so I'm going to put metal on the bottom just to guard from sparks. But I think, yeah, I need a spot where I could set shit. You guys know that. If I can't set stuff down and clutter it up, I'm in the wrong place. But I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll meet up a 4x6 all the way along this bottom edge right here, and I think we're going to put a shelf on top of that. I think that'll be kind of nice. So stay tuned. We'll see what develops. It looks like we finally have one decent wall inside of this building. And when I said earlier that sometimes laziness leads to good design decisions, I'm extremely happy with this. This shelf right here is only here because I just didn't feel like hauling boards upstairs to the wood shop to rip down to make this little filler piece in between. I don't know. Sometimes I get so lazy about the dumbest things. Now I'll go and work my balls off for just about anything, but then I'll get to this one little step, this one little point where it's a 5-minute job. I'll give you a good example. Making pegs. I hate making pegs. They're easier than hell to make. There's nothing easier than making a timber framing peg. But I hate making them, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because it's boring, a little mundane, I don't know. But goofy little stuff like that, and it's a major failing that I have as a woodworker, as a blacksmith, as whatever you want to call it, just a maker, whatever. That is a major downfalling of mine. It's like cleaning up a mess when you're done, where it would take you 10 minutes to clean up after an afternoon's of work or an evening's worth of work. But you put it off because you just, for some reason, it's like a mental block. You don't feel like doing it. And then before you know it, you are in just a disgusting pit. And then it gets to a point where it's like, well, that 10 minutes worth of cleanup at the end of what you were doing, it's now going to take you 2 or 3 days to unbury from all that crap. So that's a habit I have. But in this case, that little not feeling like ripping down some boards and actually doing 3 times the amount of work, it just made me a nice little shelf here and a nice transition to go from the steel to the wood. Now I need to incorporate some steel, especially in the lower parts of this area, simply because it is a blacksmith shop and a metal shop. There's going to be sparks, and when you're hitting on an anvil, not that there shouldn't be any sparks all the way over here from the anvil, but you never know where that stuff's going. It flies all over the place. So especially stuff like this is really dry stuff. I mean, this stuff was milled over 20 years ago. It's dry. But this wall is going to end up being our finishing wall. So any of the grinding, polishing, stuff like that is going to be done on this side of the room right here. So I needed something to catch sparks. Now the grinder's going to sit probably closer to the door. And then we're going to have our regular bench grinder, and our buffer and all that's going to be on this wall. We're going to put some shelves and stuff up above. So what I'm trying to get away from here is having a bunch of horizontal spaces. Any of you guys who've watched for a while, you have probably noticed that I can fill any horizontal space in one evening and just have it trashed. Getting tired of that. So I'm trying to avoid that. I caught myself in the course of working on this already filling it up with junk. I had the hammer sitting on there, clamps, just junk that I don't need. So we're going to get our 2x72 over here. We're going to hang our belts from this 4x6 on the bottom. This conduit here, if you can see that, I got to pull the wires out, cut it back, slide it in so it's tight to this wall, get our outlets and everything mounted. Again, that conduit also carries our wires for the 2x72 grinder, so we've got to get the freak drive mounted and all that, the VFD. I tell you what, guys, anybody going to build a 2x72, man, spend the extra money and make it variable speed. What it's going to cost you for a single-phase motor is going to even out for a 3-phase motor with a frequency drive, because the single-phase motors, believe it or not, cost more than a 3-phase motor. Just a little food for thought. And they're real easy to hook up. Like I said, I got the 3-phase motor for $2 something, and I got the VFD for $93 delivered from Kentucky. Not too shabby, and it works phenomenally. Time will tell, though, how they all hold up, but for my money, that's definitely worth it for me. So anyway, moving forward, I'm to a point now. I still have some boards to get up on the rest of the wall. We've got to trim out the doorway. I'm not going to worry about making the doors yet. That'll come in all due good time, whatever. I'm probably just going to make the doors out of plywood and put some trim on them just to expedite things. That's an 8x8 opening. So we've got to get all the lumber and stuff and all the trash out of here and start getting cleaned up. That is going to be the focus over the next few videos. That being said, I have to find a place to put that stuff. Yeah, really going to need to find a spot for this stuff. But anyway, enough of my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm really happy with how this is coming out. This is such a much nicer space than what we had before. It should work out a lot better. So anyway, that's her, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you on the next one.